Hello and welcome back to week 3 of the Hearthstone Global Games. And it's the final one. I'm Falcone, still with Lorinda, and final game from Group H that we're doing today.
Yeah, final match of the day, Czech Republic versus Croatia. I've been calling the other matches big, but this is also a big match.
Right, Croatia, was it, that hasn't played yet? Or was that one? I thought we were going to be shown it then. I was getting very excited. Let's just talk about the players. Insane, Lavak, Travno, how do you say that? Travnoboy?
Travnoboy BBB.
And Kamikaze for Croatia. Stansivka, Yara Voskali. Why am I saying these names?
Because I let you.
Czech Cloud and Pokrovak playing for Czech Republic.
Yeah, and that is a formidable lineup. I've spent most of the day plugging, the APAC versus the EU thing, but actually, Stansivka and this lineup is incredibly strong. Yara Biskasil, whose name I probably just butchered horribly, is a player who's played a lot of HCT qualifiers. He's somebody who's, every time I do the stats for those at home, he's just a name who always turns up.
Oh, wow. Okay, sometimes you just have to look at these locations, and I'm going to have to do a lot of traveling in the future. Why am I casting this? They're forcing me to look at all of these beautiful locations.
Wait till you see the Poland video.
Oh, yeah?
I don't know, I haven't seen it, but that's what I'm saying.
Well, I remember watching...
Before we get ejected.
I remember watching Sotel and Raven seeing it and them saying, oh, look, we're there. So there must be a nearby area.
Yeah, can't wait to see what they have made of Poland. So far, we haven't had a chance to see much of it, but it looks lovely here. But those locations look fantastic. Feel like I want to just start traveling the world.
Yeah, that is one of the many things that the Hearthstone Global Games is going to want to make you do. But another thing that it's going to want to make you do is play some Hearthstone. And you know who's played a lot of Hearthstone?
Stansivka.
Stansivka! Let's take a quick look at an interview with him.
I'm Stansivka, captain of Czech Republic team. Czech Republic team is really cool. I'm there with my teammate from Pokrovak. He's very young and very talented. Then our captain is Yara Voskali, which is also a very young guy and maybe not that known in the community, but also super skilled. And then we have a Czech Cloud, which is like the most popular Czech streamer, and he's taking the tournament very seriously. And I'm also very happy about how he presents the team and all the stuff. So I think we are capable of going very deep and very far in the tournament. The Global Games format is super unique, which demands very big preparation for players. Like if you prepare, you get quite big edge for the match, and it's a lot about the communication, and I like it because if there would be some simple format, you wouldn't see so many cool decks and so much incredible action, so I like it. Yeah.
This is just Team Czech. They eat very healthy when they play. I like it. You can't really argue with that.
If you try to think really hard, you also need to support your body to do it, so I eat a lot. Moc děkuji, se koukáte, je to strašně fajn, jsem hrdý, že můžu reprezentovat, ten formát je moc hezký, turnament se děsně poved a kluci jsou taky strašně super, takže jsem moc rád, že fandíte. It's gonna be a very difficult tournament and very, very exciting one.
You know, I think Stansivka put it very, very well there when he said, communication, cool decks. That's what the Hearthstone Global Game is all about.
Very much so. Stansivka, a man who has done a lot of stuff in his life. He's done very well in other card games, played chess professionally, and he even dabbled in casting for a while, which is the proof that nobody's perfect.
Yeah, definitely a player for unique decks across the board as well, brushing past that one. And obviously the most widely known on the team, though Pokrovak, very well known himself, hasn't had his breakout performance just yet.
Yeah, Pokrovak just waiting for his name to get out there a lot more, as we're opening up with Lavak versus Czech Cloud, by the way. Yeah, Pokrovak just... Everybody knows who he is. He's one of these players that just hasn't quite had it, but he will have some result at some point. And by the way, when asked what their thing about their country was, 3 of these players replied, beer.
Well, there you go. I'm going to make a prediction here, and that's that we are going to see a Paladin from Lavak, because I believe his other deck was Warlock, and, well, we haven't seen a single Warlock today so far. That's probably saying something.
Saying that Warlock's not very good right now.
Oh, sorry. It's the
saying that you're wrong.
other way around. We are seeing the Paladin, but Czech Cloud is going for Warlock over Druid. So I for some reason saw the Warlock on the wrong side there. Either way, absolutely wrong. Warlock it is.
Might be Bloodbane.
Okay.
Because Sifka has been playing that deck.
Or Doomlock, as some people are
Okay,
calling
Doomlock, sure, I can go with that as well, where basically on... you just play Doom really early and draw a million cards and you do it again.
It's like
You
life...
deal with the world's worst
It's like
healing
life
cards.
tapping 5 times.
It is like life tapping 5 times, and then you heal with a whole bunch of jank with all the mana you have left over, but you've got loads of free cards, so it doesn't matter that they're a little bit awkward. And repeat, and actually if that's against a mid-range Paladin, that deck can get a lot of value.
Very interesting that they did go with the Warlock, though. Like, I think you must be right. It must be a Warlock that runs Doom, a more control-y one, because Zoo and Druid, well, realistically, they both seem pretty bad against Priest.
Sure. Yeah, I feel we're going to see that, but every time I've felt something today and discussed in depth why I think that deck will be played, I've not been right yet.
We've gotten a few right. We've gotten a few right.
You may have.
There was
you
the
speak
one
for yourself, young man. I've got nothing right.
There was the recent Open Cup win with the Control Mage.
Sure.
That time, and yeah, it's been a few. But unpredictable is the Hearthstone meta right now. Unpredictable are each of the classes in Hearthstone.
And
right
unpredictable are these teams who are trying to be unpredictable, because if they become predictable in a long, long season, then they will start losing.
It's the name of the game, and you know, the more I'm thinking about it, the more I think you are right. I think it will be Doomlock. Maybe I shouldn't be going all out and agreeing with you here. I should be watching my own back here.
Not if my career depended on it.
But Stansifka is all about the fun, different decks. That's what he said in the video. That is his game plan. And unless his game plan is now Zoo, then
Yeah, it
Doomlock
doesn't
makes more
I mean, it's not Sifka's deck, right? He's just one of the better players on the team. Czech Cloud is more known for his streaming than for his Hearthstone. He has a massive stream, like 40,000 followers.
Wow.
So he is a big streamer, and I know he gets a lot of respect from all of the players on this team as well. But you do tend to feel that Pokovac and Sifka in particular will drive this team. Though, like I say, Yara has played in every HCT preliminary, which means he's getting the points every single time to get into those events. And he's won 8 and lost 9, but that's a lot of Hearthstone at the very, very top level. So let's not sort of just gloss over him either. Czech Republic, a very, very good team.
There have certainly been high performances or high performance players in each and every team, because there is a lot of Hearthstone all over the world. So it's no huge shock that we're getting these stellar players from everywhere.
Right.
And it's just a question of how good the team synergy is from there. Like, can the best players on the team pull up the worst players, and can they play as good as one another?
And can they diversify? Can one player on the team call up mistakes? Can one player on the team possibly, again, we've heard teams say that 4 players is too many. You know, can possibly one guy just shut up?
Yeah. It's a
Dude, sit in the
legitimate...
corner and be quiet. That's what we need you to do right now.
It's a legitimate strategy, right? And yeah, you do get told that a lot.
I'm off to the corner.
Yeah.
But but team-wise, the guy who's interrupting and being wrong is the guy who's causing a problem.
Right.
If there is such a guy, a lot of these teams won't have that guy because they're so good.
Of course.
But also the guy who's just sitting there spotting the occasional weirdness.
Okay, here we go. I'll be honest with you, this is going to be one of the first times I've seen this deck. I saw it back in week 1 of the Hearthstone Global Games.
Right.
I have never encountered it on the ladder.
I played against it once or twice, but not much. I also played it after Stansifka won a Life Coaches tournament with it in Vienna.
Oh, right.
I played it maybe 20 times, and after losing like 19 of those, I thought, oh, let's play a different deck now.
Right.
This deck is not good against aggro in particular. It can hold on there, this Blood Bloom in the opening hand, but this Murloc aggro deck that Croatia are obviously running here
Blessing of Kings
is going to be awkward.
Is the obvious giveaway right there. I don't believe the mid-range decks are usually running Blessing of Kings.
Right,
It's
yeah.
a very aggressive card.
So what needs to happen here, they can deal with a Blessing of Kings using Blood Bloom Siphon already.
Yeah.
That's kind of the power of this deck. The Blood Bloom costs you a lot of health, you get some of it back with the Siphon, and you have mana left over to do other things with.
Ooh, did you see that?
No.
Finger pops up in Croatia's hand there, which again shouldn't be too surprising given there's so many Murlocs in this deck,
Right.
and it's Finger is more common in the aggro Murloc builds. I will say, Finja feels a lot weaker when it's not summoning minions with charge and minions that buff all of your other minions. It feels much weaker without blue.
Right, yeah, without it being an actual combo, just here's the card they tested, right? This is the card that just gets you some Murlocs. Not the card that says, I'm a broken combo.
Summon a Vilefin Inquisitor and a Rockpool Hunter, for example. They're the ones I can see, I'll say them. But summoning them from the deck doesn't quite have the same oomph as Woolly does in Blue Girls.
Yeah, just use those to clear up and then hit you again with my Finja next turn. Oh my
But
goodness.
there is always the chance to get Woolly does and Blue Girls from Finja. Even though there are more Murlocs filling up the deck, it's still possible.
Interesting to watch the Czech Republic here, all thinking and nobody speaking until they come up with an idea. This is obviously a practice thing. It's like we're just going to sit and work this out. Czech Cloud now speaking, but the others just sitting there, like silently working out in their own heads what they think the play is. Now Pokovac is speaking, so they're not all talking at once all the time. They're all just using their brains.
And you can definitely argue that how the teams are approaching this communication, it could definitely cause them to win or lose games that otherwise they would not have won.
No, for sure. I remember Sottle saying he played with Life Coach and JJ on ladder as a 3 at one point, just for a few games, in a hotel room somewhere far, far away. And he was saying it just wasn't fair because their communication was so good. They just didn't miss anything. So good communication will help, and bad communication may even hinder and definitely won't help.
Of course, that was a 2-on-1 Sottle versus Life Coach. But here, we do not have any 2-on-1s. All of the teams are playing together every single time, every single game, without fail. Even if you don't see all of the teammates together, or even if you see one on their own, they're definitely going to be communicating with the rest.
Yeah, any occasion that there is a player missing, we will let you know if somebody has a prior commitment. They can be, one player can play twice, basically, and that may come into play tomorrow.
Yeah, in the event that a player was unable to make it and said in advance that they were unable to make it, and we will be seeing that a few times tomorrow, exactly.
Meanwhile, back to today.
Dirty Rat. It's bad if it pulls Finja, good if it pulls Blue Girl.
Yeah, the thing with this deck is you have to plan every turn. They might even be talking about when do I use my Blood Balloon, when do I use my Siphon, what do we want to Siphon? How do you find the bottom right corner of the screen might be an option they're discussing.
I don't think they're quite at that stage yet. Not just
I mean, just drawing Doom can change this for some time yet.
Talk Reaper, I don't mind this. It's bad if Lavok has a War Leader.
Right.
Like, really bad.
Yeah, at some point you just got to say, you know what, let's see which card we can't play around or whatever.
But actually, it deals with this board quite nicely.
Yeah, and War Leader is just bad anyway, right? Do nothing, War Leader you for 6, have War Leader on board. It's probably just a lost game anyway.
Right.
So let's not play around it because we lose to it, and let's play a turn that says, okay, if they don't have it, what's a good turn? And this is where they're at, not messing around trying to get a big Twilight Drake, just getting stuff on the board. And it's actually causing a really big problem here for Lavok.
Yeah, what is the answer? That's the answer.
Wow.
Tar Creeper doing its job. It's sitting there preventing the aggro deck from doing anything. That is what it was designed to do.
And now they know there's no War Leader, they can plan accordingly. Decisions to make. Killing the 1/1 seems a given. You probably heal your own face at some point. This deck does... Obviously, you might heal the minion. It's really tough, actually. This deck does like to heal its own face more than most decks, but obviously protecting your creepers vital.
Yeah. Although if you're going to protect a minion, is Creeper the one that can just get trampled over by big Murlocs later on? Maybe you'd prefer to heal up a Twilight
I think
Drake.
later off you might be okay. So they probably will heal the creeper here just so it doesn't die.
Okay, I can get behind that.
And don't forget, some teams won't play Consecration.
Control Warlock, of course, one of these archetypes that misses having mass healing the most. Antique Healbots, Reno Jacksons.
Right.
These cards were vital for the success of Control Warlock. And at the
Poor
moment,
old Reno.
You're not really complaining.
Carry on.
The archetype is suffering right now. Czech Cloud is going to do his very best to pilot this deck to success. But
I mean, who would have thought that Voodoo Doctor would be a card that is played at high-level Hearthstone in 2017? But it's already won a tournament.
well, yeah, without Dark Peddlers as well.
Yeah, just Voodoo Doctor, and it plays Mistress, it plays Earthen Ring Farseer. Just janky heal cards because they're all there are available.
Right. So Gentle Megasaur must be tempting. It just must be. If you get attack or poisonous, then you're feeling good about things. Blessing of Kings, okay, sure, why not?
Right. Just to point out, by the way, you just lose here to Blood Boom Doom. If Doom comes off the top of the deck, then the Czechs will play it. They'll draw 4 cards, some of which will be healing, and the others will go towards getting you another Blood Bloom Doom.
Uh-huh.
It just ends the game almost immediately.
That is terrifying. That is really scary. You could argue, though, that the Blood Boom Doom could actually, if Czech Republic can just wait, play it a little bit later, could pick up even more value. Killing a Finger.
The problem is, like now, the longer it goes, the more damage you take to face, the less good it is.
Right.
So there, if they picked it up there, they'd be on 18, absolutely sitting pretty with a handful of cards. Let's see if this goes to face, then they're down to 10, and so on and so on. So it does eventually become completely unplayable. Obviously, Blood Bloom Siphon is better than it looks, though, at some points, because how do you value 4 extra mana? Well, sometimes you value 4 extra mana with your life.
Right. It's funny that Doom didn't see any play whatsoever for a whole year,
Right.
apart from Yogg-Saron.
Right. And yet it's better than Twisting Nether in this deck.
And now, yeah, of course it is.
And again, we've made this comment a few times today. That is how Ungoro has really changed the meta for the better. Hell, I'll use that one again.
That's good, that's good.
Because a lot of cards that weren't played are now seeing play.
So Gentle Megasaur going for the Divine Shield or the health here, both would be fantastic. It doesn't get either of them. Poisonous, Death Rattle, and Taunt. Oh, that's not what Lavik wanted.
I guess the plants is the one you go for, so that Doom, at least you have a refill.
Oh, okay. That seemed very aggressive
Interesting,
for a
yeah.
moment there.
Now,
Imagine-
Czech Republic have managed to stay on 28 health. That's not going to stay there for long, but at some point they might be able to squeak in a tap.
Imagine if they did have Doom in the hand now, by the way. Dirty Rat, Blood Bloom, Doom. Clear the board,
Right.
and a card in hand. Maybe Finger.
Yeah.
Doom would have been fantastic in this hand.
I mean, they may go as far as saying if we tap into Doom, we win the game. And if they don't, ouch. But what does their other turn? I feel they may tap here and try and hit Doom. Because if they hit it, they draw 4 cards, they're still on 16. Your opponent's down to 3 cards. It hasn't got a great deal of burst, the Paladin deck. And obviously, if you draw 4 cards, plus the one you tapped into, which is the Doom, you're just in a good spot. The downside of that is, of course, if you miss, which you do 80 or 90% of the time, you're struggling. But they're struggling anyway.
Going to play Dirty Rat instead, then decide afterwards whether they need to play Blood Bloom and Siphon Soul, I guess.
Right.
Do they need to Siphon Soul? Oh my goodness, going for the second Dirty Rat, pulls out Finger.
Ouch.
Oh, that feels bad.
That's a whole bunch of fish people right there.
Czech Cloud just had to have a short break from eating his banana there. He was just looking at the screen in shock. Oh, no. Well, Croatia.
Well,
feeling
indeed.
good. Lavak is feeling good. This board isn't going anywhere fast. Even if there is a Doom, don't forget that the Grimescale Chum is going to be summoning plants when it dies.
Right. Croatia, by the way, played last week against Ukraine. They still haven't won a match in this event.
Oh dear.
They lost 3-0.
Oh, they haven't lost a single game.
Yeah, they lost 3-0
Oh
to Ukraine last week. So Croatia will be not just your normal levels of happy if they win this one. It'll be like, oh my goodness, thank goodness we got going. I mean, losing 3-0 to Ukraine, they will not be the only team that loses 3-0 to Ukraine.
Ukraine, the Terminator of Hearthstone.
All right, so it's Doom or be doomed here, I think.
They have to tap then. This hand does 0. It does absolutely nothing.
And you can't Doom next turn because you will indeed be dead. You can Siphon Soul the 5-2. That's the other option.
You still tap first though.
No, I mean just literally Siphon Soul.
Oh,
Save
right,
the
of
Blood
course, of
Bloom
course.
and keep your health total somewhere legitimate.
Blood Bloom, so on the mind right now.
Honestly, that's how I was playing the deck, which is probably why I never won with it.
Right.
It is incredibly complicated to get your head around because even though it's obvious how the cards interact, when your subconscious is just not used to playing with all these weird interactions that Sivka just throws together and somehow they work, you just make misplay after misplay if you're not careful.
Mm-hmm. Really taking their time there. Czech Cloud trying to work out whether he's going to tap or I guess go with the Siphon Soul, as you said. I strongly feel like the tap is, you have to do that and do it now.
Starting to feel the Siphon's not bad. Let's see what he gets.
No, Elise doesn't do anything.
Yeah, this is just a total whiff now. And that's just going to be more Murlocs.
Is he even going, if the next draw is Doom, oh man.
And now, of course, they're getting low enough on health that even the Doom, it would cost them 10 health to use it. And that is a lot. Because the healing isn't spectacular. The healing gets you some of it back, but it occupies the board with a bunch of garbage. And you tend to want to cast a second Doom normally. There's also Medivh in this deck, by the way, or there was previously in the Warlock deck.
Medivh showing up everywhere nowadays.
Well, Medivh into Blood Bloom into Doom is actually just absurd.
Interestingly, showing up in all three of the Cabal classes, Priest, Mage, and Warlock.
Ah, secret Kabbalist.
Yeah. Joined the Cabal at some point. Exactly. So, Croatia, Lavok, all of the tools he could want on the board, just trying to work out how to utilize them. I assume Finja is going to go and get some more friends.
Yeah, here comes Finja. He's everybody's friend when he's winning.
Still no War Leader, which is the only thing that Czech Cloud has to be happy about right now.
Yeah, and he's the only Finn that hasn't appeared on the board.
Oh no.
Apart from maybe Wampy. But I digress.
Tap, Blood Boom, Doom actually kills you.
You could Voodoo Doctor first, though, so it
Ah,
wouldn't.
leave you on 2. Feeling very secure.
Yeah, feeling absolutely fine. What could go wrong
Against the
Paladin on 2?
Against the 2/1/1s that will still be there. Because
Sure.
the Grimescale Chum still has...
But you'll have drawn a million cards, and you'll have mana left over, so you could put 1/3 taunts down.
That's true.
I don't think it's good, but is it perhaps their only possible out?
Well, they don't have an out now, so tapping is definitely a good way to start. Oh, hey, look, there's a 1/3 taunt you were just referencing. It's not good now, is it?
It doesn't look too hot.
I think I just heard a click there. I think I just heard the
Preemptive bottom right.
the settings button just clicked.
And it looks like Croatia are going to take a 1-0 lead here.
Oh, wait. What? Okay.
This allows them to do everything. What percentage of Croatia do you think is forest, Dan?
70.
44 is a lot still. 44% of the landmass of Croatia is forest.
Yeah, mine was ridiculous.
Pretty sure that everybody is happier for that information.
I expected it was going to be some crazy high number.
That's just a number. That's a lot of forest.
It is.
If you go to Croatia, to a random location, there's 44% chance you're surrounded by trees and not people.
Oh,
That's kind of scary.
maybe trees and people.
Tree people?
Yeah.
Wow. So much role-playing.
Trents.
Sotul will never forgive us.
Trents.
Wow.
Druid Trents. Hangs out in the Croatian forests with living mana.
I wish I hadn't started now. It just serves me right. I shall learn from this experience, Dan. I shall never do it again.
Okay, War
This time
Leader.
has to be the War Leader, right? Oh, there's nowhere to put it. Ordering. Doesn't matter.
Feels bad, man. I mean, winning anyway, so feels good, man.
1-0, Lavek gets his win in the bag, and Croatia get their first game win of Hearthstone Global Games 2017.
Great. Good way to start this series.
Yeah, and Croatia must wonder what they've done wrong just looking at this group. They've got Ukraine, they've got the Czech Republic, there's just so many good teams in here. Germany, Philippines.
You referred to a different group as the group of death earlier.
Did I?
I don't recall which. I think you did.
I lied then.
But this group is a little bit scary. And I thought that our group, the group the UK is in, was bad.
It is bad because the UK's in it. Hey, George.
Not that type of bad. Oh dear. Oh dear. Well,
I haven't got to cast that much. I can say what I like.
great. Anyway, onto a lighter topic. Insane versus Pokravac next. Mage versus Priest, both players passing up on the Hunter. I'm surprised Pokravac went with Priest as opposed to Hunter there, because... sorry, Mage as opposed to Hunter, as if the other team picked Hunter, would have countered the Mage. So Hunter's strong against Mage, and yet the
Right.
other team picked it anyway, when the first team could have picked Hunter.
So they either get the 50-50 or...
They got lucky because the other team didn't pick Hunter, but
Okay.
I just thought that was interesting.
Yeah, I was somewhere. I don't know where. It happens, Dan. It happens when you get older.
It happens.
You just end up somewhere sometimes.
You know, you're actually over twice my age.
Good.
Worked that out the other day.
Cool. Does that mean I get paid twice as much?
I hope not.
Damn. I can't see any advantages then at this point. Okay, Insane was the only Croatian player to participate in an HCT preliminary in 2016, which throws all my research out of the window, because that's what I was going to say.
Oh.
Thanks, TJ. Insane in the membrane, but not insane in the brain. Actually very smart in the brain. Thanks, TJ.
Speaking, by the way, of double age things, Pokravac is only 17 years old, which is 19 years younger than Brian Kibler. So similarly to me and you, Neil, Pokravac almost half, actually over half Kibler's age.
Good. Now I don't feel as bad anymore. Thanks, Brian. Appreciate it. Taking one for the team.
There are a lot of young Hearthstone players. It's quite scary, actually.
It's scary when you're my age. Everything scares you when you're my age. But yeah, young Hearthstone players. It's great to see because it means that the future of the game is in good hands. And even the casting future of the game is probably in good hands as well.
No, I wouldn't go that far.
I tried.
But yeah, next game is going to start very, very shortly. Mage versus Priest. We've seen a couple of these today.
Right.
If it's the more freezy Mage, then it struggles against
Yep.
the Priest. The Priest is able to heal up a lot.
Just literally keep the Priest of the Feast in your hand.
Yeah.
Don't put it on the board, guys. That's what we've learned today.
Why not? Priest of the Feast is mass healing with a body. Against aggro decks, you can slam it down as early as possible. Against these combo decks, you can just hold on to it and play it later. And as we discussed earlier, Freeze Mage now has no way of just OTKing. It doesn't have Evolved Kobold. It doesn't have Emperor Thorasam. And Ice Lancers. All of these cards... it hasn't hurt Freeze Mage that much, but it has taken away the ability for Freeze Mage to win in one turn. They can win in two with Alexstrasza and then the burst damage, but they can't win in one.
Yeah, the more aggressive Mage decks can just go, I'm going to burn your Priest of the Feast. And if they hold it too long, then they will die. So the more aggressive Mage decks can force the Priest of the Feast onto the board just as a minion and proceed from there. But like you say, we saw earlier, basically, somebody passed on turn 4 rather than play Priest of the Feast.
Yeah.
Because on turn, 16 or something, that Priest of the Feast won them the game.
Yeah, they did. They did. They won the game as a result, and it makes a lot of sense. It's like Greater Healing Potion, but with a second upside that you can actually put it as the body against aggro decks. Because Greater Healing Potion against a Pirate Warrior, against a Token Druid, isn't feeling very good.
Yeah, it's like, take 12, heal for 12, take 12 more. Oh, okay, you got me, dude. Sorry, I didn't know you were going to do that again.
Let's take 24 more, because Savage Roar is going to hit the board by then.
Savage Roar in Pirates. Oh yeah, it's called Aggro Druid.
Yeah,
Sure.
aggro Druid.
I know how that works now.
I
I'm
mean-
just waiting for them. Sorry about this.
A lot of people were calling old Combo Druid. A lot of people were saying now, in retrospect, that was an aggro deck. Force of Nature Savage Roar Druid was an aggro deck. It's an argument that some people have been making.
Did you have to talk about that deck?
Sorry.
14, help, 14.
Yeah. The good old days of Hearthstone, although it's a great way of talking about these old decks is a great way of reminding ourselves standard format is a really good thing.
Yes, it
It's a
really
good thing.
is.
And this year, Year of the Mammoth and Goro, if it continues as it started, it's going to be a really good year in Hearthstone.
Yeah, and I think it's going to help as well to have no adventures. So when you get another set, we've seen the difference 135 cards can make. And we've seen that sometimes the impact that only 40 cards can make, whilst they shake up the meta and make it more interesting, they don't necessarily change full archetypes.
It's great for the game as a competitive
Boo
esport.
stuff.
Circle of Healing. Firelands Portal. Not Freeze Mage. Okay.
So could be the Medivh controlling mage, could just be straight up tempo mage type build. But I'm going with the Control Mage because we've seen that all
I
day.
have to admit, I've been surprised just how much this deck has caught on today in the Hearthstone Global Games.
Right.
I gave it a quick go. Now I want to go back to it with everything that I've learned today on how to play it, and see if I can have a little bit more luck with it.
Yeah, it looks like a good start here for Croatia as well. They seem to keep running it into priests though, which doesn't seem to be the brightest move. It's just how the things have worked out today that priest versus mage has been a thing.
Slightly different list on the priest side. Arcanine, not the most popular card at the moment.
Right.
Tar Creeper, also not that popular in priest, although it's one of these slow anti-aggro cards, which we have seen used in some of the late-game Lyra priests with Free from Amber.
Right, just to make sure you get to that later game.
Yeah, exactly.
And one thing Sivka likes to do is, and again, just talk about the whole Czech Republic team, but in particular, Sivka driving force in deck building, you would imagine. He just likes to get to that later game, make sure that as many decisions as possible are made, and make sure they're as hard as possible for both teams, because he thinks his decision-making on hard decisions is better than his opponents. And with this team, I'm not surprised he thinks that.
Well, classic priest turn 2, coming right up.
Wow, he forgot to emote.
He feared. Well, no, if you're emoting, you heal your opponent's face.
Oh, okay.
That's. I know you don't play much priest, Neil, but that's.
Sorry, I don't know my priest law well enough.
It's priest etiquette.
Difficult decision here whether to get the barrier out before your valet to get the extra 3 damage, but by doing that, you don't develop. You also mess up your mana curve, but you also do buff your mana worm, and your valet can do good work next turn.
Yeah, Mana Worm itself is such a brutal card in most mage decks right now, specifically in the burn and the tempo, and I guess Control Mage too, because it can push so much early game damage. Coining out Arcane Intellect's probably tempting. Coining out Ice Barrier is great for the Medivh's Valet. There are a few more options for Insane this turn than the Priest had last turn.
And he probably won't be working out how to deal with the Tar Creeper.
No.
He might. It might be at the back of his mind as an option. Because if he does think about that, then the Ice Barrier play is really good with the Valet just shooting the Creeper next turn.
Gonna go with Arcane Intellect after all,
Okay.
giving himself some more options. Maybe he picks up a Frostbolt or
Yeah.
something just to keep this going over the next few turns. There's Ice Block, there's Medivh the Guardian.
Medivh the Guardian, blazing a trail through mage decks everywhere.
Blazing a trail.
Sorry, that's a flashback to about 4 hours ago.
Yeah, if you're still with us from then, thanks
You'll
for
know
sticking
what
around.
we mean.
Yeah.
Okay, so now they can take their time to just do nothing this turn, because obviously the Creeper won't be able to deal with the Mana Worm particularly well. Just a case of what they want to do. Next turn they can polymorph if they so desire.
Ice Block
Croatians.
seems good to me.
Yep.
Helps you out with the Medivh's Valet next turn. That Mana Worm probably isn't going anywhere on 4 attack, and Medivh's Valet isn't quite enough on its own.
Czech Republic with a whole handful of stuff they don't really want to play right now. I wouldn't be surprised at all if they just play a Soul Priest for... just for the body. It looks like the right shape that they need right now.
Yeah, why not? Why not? I was thinking maybe Tar Creeper, because the one currently on the board seems to be doing an okay job, but I like this a lot. Just curving up, playing Elise next turn.
And that is going to get polymorphed. Maybe it's not.
What, Glyph into Fireball would be very strong right now.
It really would. It really would. Polymorphing one of these and killing the other one is pretty strong. But when you see this, you're not quite sure what you might need to polymorph later, especially again against the Czech Republic, who might do anything.
Yeah, and Primordial Glyph is the riskier play. He's
Going
to
for
go
it. Let's see what it gets.
Spellbender, Flame Strike, Blizzard. None of what he needed right now.
No, not at all. Spellbender will probably end up being targeted at some point versus Priest in a game. You might end up with a 1/5 minion out of it. When Powered Shield
I
comes
like
to play.
Spellbender as the pick a lot. The question that Insane has to answer now is, does he make this trade? Is there a card that the Arcanine can cheekily combo itself with to deal with the Mana Worm otherwise? And Insane decides, yes, I do need to deal with the target.
And this also works quite well for him. Binding Heal, though, is going to have the opportunity to hit yourself in the face for 5.
Double-edged sword, that one. We've seen Arcanine Flash Heal do wonderful things. This doesn't quite... Well, it's similar. It's not different. You just have to pay a cost.
Yeah, and against this mage deck, I'm not sure you want to pay that cost. Given that your win condition is to play Priest of the Feast after you get Alexstrasza, you kind of want to make them have to use that Alexstrasza.
If you haven't seen the card before, Binding Heal is a 1-mana card. It says restore 5 health to a minion and 5 health to your hero. Because the Arcanine Soul Priest is on the board, what it actually does is deal 5 damage to a minion and 5 damage to your own hero.
Plenty of options here for the Czech Republic. Just dropping Elise and trading seems to be one that they can do as well. Just chest testing first to make sure that it actually doesn't produce another minion. Yeah. Getting control of the board.
Great. Insane can't do anything about it.
Yeah, Insane cannot do anything about this at all, although he's probably not in too much hurry. There's a weird thing with this deck. It's kind of... It can gain and lose the board all the way through the game until it does the Alexstrasza thing.
We've discussed the weird things it does with tempo, but you're right, the Alexstrasza thing is very much the win condition, unless you can get this early game damage rolling, which unfortunately, because of the Tar Creeper, Croatia was not able to get this early damage going.
Oh my goodness. I mean, probably don't use it yet, but hey, would you like to fill up your hand?
I wonder if you're a little bit disappointed because it means you don't get a second one with Shadow Visions.
Actually, sure, yeah, I think in some ways you are. You may just play this now, because you might end up with 2 mana left over this turn, so you might as well get all of your options now. It's not like saving the pack, it's not like Discover where you want more information. The more information is, bust open the pack right now and see what legendaries you get and see which dust you can trade for.
Right. So, Tar Creeper, is the pack coming out now? I know that everyone wants to see this pack open because
definitely,
as the Hearthstone community, our favorite thing is opening packs and seeing packs opened in-game, which is very exciting.
Yeah. I assume we don't now because they would have done it first, but...
well, they wouldn't have had hand space for all 5 cards before.
Oh, okay.
But now with the Tar Creeper being played, they do.
See...
Sure.
I'm so confused with this interaction.
Pokravac is just like, yeah, that'll do instead. I'll take that.
Lyra.
Lyra! The priest gets Lyra! What? Also, Primal Fin plus Binding Heal. It's like Primal Fin Champion.
Oh, and return the spells back to your hand.
So you can play it to heal your face by 5, and then when this is destroyed...
do it again.
Just an interesting little interaction there.
A lot more damage that they're going to be able to prevent later on when the mage starts pushing for victory. And that's a good pack. My packs are never like that. They're always just like a bunch of nothing.
Tar Lord, also, as we're seeing Tar Creeper in the deck anyway, Tar Lord probably not a bad next step.
Right,
Priest
yes.
doesn't mind too much.
Pretty handy. Although, obviously, to some degree, the mage just ignores taunts. And Croatia are in a spot here. They need to start to generate some pressure, otherwise they're going to get run down just by the minions the priest is making. Yeah, the polymorph's having to come out a bit earlier than they would like.
Wow. Croatia will have a way of dealing with Lyra if Lyra comes down next turn. Although I should say deal with the first Lyra. 1 Lyra is scary enough, but Pokravac able to play 2 in this deck potentially now.
Lyra. Sounds like a really bad movie with Sottle in it.
Lyra would be great with a Powered Shield or a Divine Spirit. Unfortunately, there is no Powered Shield and there is no Divine Spirit right now. I wonder if Pokravac holds on to it for a little bit longer, conceals the information that there's an extra one.
Yeah, it depends. I mean, he may just... There's no going off with this Lyra. He's only going to draw 2 cards. Doesn't really need cards right now. What he needs right now is to start getting the board with these cards. Doesn't want to play the Priest with the Feast, Priest of the Feast at all. In fact, most of these cards the Czech Republic don't actually want to play right now. They've all got purposes, and none of them would fulfill that purpose at the moment. You don't want to play the Soul Priest because your Priest of the Feast might never actually get its job done.
So I guess Tar Lord?
Yeah, that's a good way of wasting a turn.
It's the only card,
Sure.
well, along with Tar Creeper, that kind of does nothing, but you can just stick it up and...
I like it. You might never ever play this card on any other turn, and this turn there's nothing to do. I like this a lot.
So much tar everywhere. Luckily for the mage, Jaina doesn't really care about how many big taunts that have one attack there are, because she has Fireballs and Alexstrasza.
And portals. Yeah. Jane's just going to launch a whole bunch of damage. The thing is, the portals make minions, and the minions can go face, so it's still a little bit irritating for Insane here.
Sure. So Firelands Portal sort of serves just as a 7 mana deal 5 damage.
Yeah.
Of course, there are those disgusting games where Leroy Jenkins decides to pop out of a Firelands
Sure, or
Portal.
Doomguard, or
yeah.
Earth Elemental, those games. We all love those games.
But there's a taunt in the way, so even Doomguards or Leroys won't actually do much to further the cause. That's not bad though. 5/5 with stealth. Okay.
Okay, now it might be time to get ready to do some Lyra shenanigans.
Oh yeah, or they could just wait one more turn. I wouldn't even mind dropping one Priest of the Feast and Tar Creeper.
Okay, I'm good with that.
I think because you've got the second one, you don't necessarily need both later.
Yep.
And the more mana you've got when you're going to do the nuts Radiant Elemental, Lyra go turn, the better.
Sure, yeah.
Like you've got all of the tools you could possibly want. Why do a half job? Why not do it all the way at 9 or 10?
They may also be a little bit concerned at their lack of spells in general, although 2 of them are healing face, so it's probably okay for them. Just because, yeah, it's going to be okay for them actually. They can heal face, it's fine. I was going to say just because they need that Priest of the Feast to heal them back up, but they've got plenty of healing in hand here. I guess we also need to keep an eye, by the way, on Soul Priest into just binding heal your opponent's face a couple of times.
That is a thing.
That's representing a lot of damage that, you know, if we weren't aware of it now, that's a plan they can work towards making your opponent die.
I don't think it's realistic just because Ice Block exists. And
It might be a way of proccing the block, though.
And the priest doesn't want to reduce their health because the amount of burn that the mage can come up with, and the priest doesn't have Ice Block
Right.
yet.
So I think this may be setting up for Lyra. Binding heal your face, binding heal your face, and see where you are.
Yeah.
If Alexstrasza things don't happen,
Okay.
and all that stuff.
Yeah,
if
yeah.
they do happen, then go back to plan A of Lyra, heal my own face later, play the Radiant Elemental, just draw some nice cards.
It's incredible how many uses these binding heals
Right.
seem to have in this game. Synergy with Lyra, synergy with Arcanine, synergy with Priest of the Feast, synergy with Primal Fin Champion, of all things.
And now the game launches into life, though, with Medivh saying, okay, I've had enough of all this messing about. Let's play Hearthstone.
You know, I've got to admit, actually, I'm not sure. Can you binding heal face?
It's a minion. Oh, perhaps it's only binding
think
heal
it's
a
just
minion
minions.
and your own face.
Yeah, I think so.
So you just kill yourself.
And Medivh.
Yeah, it is. It's just a minion and your own face.
Okay.
It's not. You can't do your opponent's face. I'm wrong, and you are correct. No, without even checking, I know that I've said silly things. Always happens in the priest games. Knew it was going to. Sorry, guys.
Because if it said to a character, then you could essentially be a 1 mana heal yourself by 10.
Yeah.
That card would be
obviously
nuts.
stupid. Obviously, you can't do it. Good call, Dan. You have saved us. Or me. More to the point, me.
If Lyra's coming down this turn, they need to do it now.
Right.
The rope is a thing that's been... It's caused some problems today already. You called it, though. Binding heal being used and dealing damage to the priest.
Sure, that's exactly what I meant all along. And yeah.
It's not too different. Primal Fin Champion, Powered Shield. Sure.
Yeah, just keep getting stuff back. Ready for Lyra later.
Shadow Visions. Oh, okay. It's next turn, isn't it?
Yeah, so just binding heal. Okay.
It has to be
Next turn, I think Lyra probably goes off. Just got to keep a look on his health total. They may just wait, but I don't think they will. I think it's next turn they're going to have to do Lyra things.
Lyra, Radiant Elemental. Shadow Visions cost 1. Binding Heal costs 1. Trade in the Primal Fin Champion. Binding Heal costs 0. The Powered Shield that you get from the Primal Fin Champion will also cost 0.
Right.
You've gained about, 6 cards in that time? And you've still got 2 mana left after... No, 3 mana left after making that. 4 mana left after making that play. Oh, no, because you've got to play the Radiant Elemental as well. Sorry, 2 mana left after making that play. So there's actually a lot you can do with
And a lot of the garbagey pre-spells are very, very cheap, which is why Lyra has defied a lot of people's expectations. They hadn't realised quite how much you could just chain garbage pre-spells and get something out of them.
I feel as though people were saying before, oh yeah, but you'll just get cards like Silence. But now it's like, great, just play it, get another one.
Just carry on. People had completely forgotten the fact you just carry on. It costs 0, and it costs 0. A lot of the 1-drops cost 0.
I'm so ready. I'm so ready for this. They're doing it. Okay. They actually have to be careful that they don't start drawing too many cards here. Mind Blast!
Can that go face?
That can, and must, in fact, hit the face. Inner Fire! That's not bad.
Yep, she'll just play it on something.
Buff up the Primal Fin! What? Oh, okay. Oh, no, yeah, Shadow with Pain. Okay. Oh my goodness. And then you get the cards back. I'm extremely worried.
This Primal Fin out of the pack from Elise is doing bad, well, good things, depending which side of the table you're sat.
I'm just glad that this card is a Paladin card, not a Priest card.
Do it now, get all the cards now, ready to just keep going.
Now, they're going to overdraw, though.
They're going to overdraw, but does it matter? They've got a handful of stuff.
Potion of Madness. Look at that perfect card to pick off the rest of Croatia's board. Inner Fire going to buff up Lyra. Mind Blast because
it's a card you can play. Sure, why not? Just keep playing things. Did they get the attack in? No. Yes, there was nothing could attack.
No.
They got the one attack that mattered in, which was the steal. Mind Control's pretty handy as well, although Medivh has long since departed this planet. Or whichever planet he's from, Azeroth, most likely.
Yeah, and now Pogrovac's hand is full, so whatever the next card will be gotten rid of. But it doesn't look like it matters too much, and actually, Croatia is going to struggle to get rid of this 7/7. Pyroblast, it's going to have to be the way to do it.
Yeah, and that's really good news for the Czech Republic. That's not such good news. It is, because they can steal it.
Now, something to note, to anyone that's not keeping track or just came and joined this game, there was an insane Lyra turn. There's probably still a Lyra in the deck, because that Lyra came from the pack, which came from Elise the Trailblazer.
That's a really good point. It could just all happen again.
All over again.
I feel that to not mind control this is potentially overthinking it.
Okay.
It's a 7/14, you've seen a polymorph, your mind control's got no other targets in the deck. Maybe an Antonidas, actually, you've got a load of cheap stuff. Maybe. I've got nothing wrong with overthinking, I'm taking your time, but it just seems like it's such a nice, clear-cut play right now.
Yeah, and then you can purify it.
Great.
I don't know when you're going to get better. You start to purify, and okay, no, choosing not to. He's actually saving the purify. I'm not sure exactly what for, but
Maybe a Soul Priest, or
yeah, maybe
both now. Actually,
yeah, that's what I thought. Flame doesn't actually deal 14 damage ever, unless there's 4 spell damage.
Also, can't go face.
Also can't go face.
Trying to work out a list of cards that can't
Binding
go
Heal,
face.
Greater Healing Potion. They all fit in the bucket.
Can we just ban priests?
What to do?
Okay, so going to be difficult for Insane to find a way to win this match. And we knew that from the start, but it's got infinitely harder since then.
At least the 7/12 is frozen.
Yeah. 7/12 priest minion. That just is a nightmare.
The real problem for Croatia is just how much healing that there is available to the Czech Republic right now.
Right.
Double Priest of the Feast, Purify, would still heal for 6, even though it silences the minion. I believe it silences it after the heal goes through.
And I guess... I don't guess. I was thinking maybe Croatia could just try to win in fatigue, but they just can't. Because it's just got all of the good stuff going on.
Pokravac can purify this and start attack with it.
Seems good.
Had a little bit of help with that one. They hovered over the Purify, so...
Right. Cheers, guys. Appreciate the bail.
Not actually going to do it, though.
Interesting.
Oh, yeah, okay. It makes way more sense to do it because the Major's almost in a position where their ice block has been popped.
Right.
So.
Glyph, that is why you always play on. It's the old Yogg-Saron, meaning...
Great Arcane Missiles, Fireball, Kabbalist Tome.
All good cards, but probably too late. I think you have to take the Kabbalist Tome because none of the other 2 cards actually get you out of... like, win you the game.
Yeah.
You need Kabbalist Tome into triple Pyroblast or something.
Great Arcane Missiles is definitely the worst.
Yeah. Fireball is normally the best.
Mm-hmm.
But I think they're too far behind not to take the Tome and try and get some sort of insane, like I say, like
More Tomes.
more Tomes,
Tome into-
Pyroblasts.
Tome into Glyph into Tome. Oh,
That's a
Pyroblast.
start.
And you get the Fireball anyway, there you go. It's just 4 mana instead of 2.
Seems good. Just bonus cards.
Why would you ever take Fireball when you get it from Kabbalist
Fireball
Tome?
and Pyroblast as well. And now they can freeze this and wait a little while as well.
Insane is challenging Pokravac right now. He's saying, do you have a second Purify?
Wow.
Excuse me, you are on fire.
Okay. I just feel like inevitably the Priest will get to a win somehow, even if it has to do it in fatigue here. Okay, Glimmer. This is not a Discover effect.
Let's make this guess. Is it Twilight Flamecaller, Finance Portal, or
Which we have
Antonidas?
seen.
Yeah, it's a little bit unfair. When
Yeah,
it
I'd
comes to
rather
that
it be the card left in the deck as a card.
It's weird that there's no Antonidas in the deck. Well, it's not weird because it's what we've grown accustomed to now.
But it seems weird that it's not in the deck.
in this
You do it
matchup,
from scratch.
Antonidas would have helped a lot.
It really would.
Anyways, pops the ice block, so
Yep.
Priest feeling good. Okay. Whatever. It's about what you expect from Violence Portal. Maybe slightly on the weak side. But now Insane is in trouble. Corruption. Potion of Madness.
Another Fireball.
Fireball.
I mean, this is the situation where you've just picked up Fireball, Pyroblast, Fireball, and it doesn't feel like anything like enough. I mean, Corruption's got to be tempting. Just to get rid of this 7-12
Nope.
that's smashing you, but it's too slow.
More Fireballs. Insane actually has to put the ice block down or he just loses.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything he can do about that either. You've said it a few times in this game. I'm going to repeat it again now. It's looking very good for the Priest. Not sure how Insane finds his way out on top here. Alex Straza far too deep into the deck.
Yeah, I mean, he's playing for his country, so he's taking his time and making sure he doesn't miss a win or something, but it's looking so bleak for him right now. But he's plugging away, getting rid of what he can. Possibly based on the thing that if you do clear up all the Priest minions, actually, they just might not be able to damage you ever again. Except with like the Holy Fire we can see in hand.
Yeah.
But yeah, if Lyra whiffed 7 times in a row, and you can clear up the stuff on the board, maybe you can find something to go all the way.
And again, don't forget, assuming that they run Lyra in the deck, there's still a Lyra in Pokevec's deck.
Looking at how that Lyra played when they got it, it looks like it should be in the deck.
Yeah.
Although it worked so well because they got the Primal Fin out the same pack, which meant he could Lyra everything twice.
Yeah, it turns out Primal Fin is a little bit silly
With Lyra.
with Lyra in Priest. Very, very fortunate for Pokravac to play Elise, get the pack as the next draw, and get Lyra out of it. And also, Lyra was a golden legendary, which is a little bit of extra luck.
Okay.
Not relevant, but it's luckier to get a golden legendary than a regular, right?
Yeah, I guess. The packs are souped up, I think, when they come to
Yeah, of course.
They're admittedly souped up. Which is good.
Embrace the shadow, popping the block at 1.
Okay. Right, Croatia, find your way out of this.
No more secrets left for the mage.
Alex Straza buys them a turn, except it doesn't cause Holy Fire. It does. Yeah, the block's gone. Good. I thought it had.
Yeah.
So Holy Fire will close this out, assuming they're Alex their own face.
But then, even if he survived this play,
You can go face, right?
how does Insane win from this position? Shadow of Death is a card that exists that I don't think you've seen yet.
Please tell me this card can go face. Otherwise, I'm...
Holy Fire does go face.
Hooray! We got one in the end. One of the priest cards can indeed go to the face, and that is where it is inserted. And Czech Republic goes back to 1 game all in this final match of the day.
Okay. No, I'm glad the final match isn't the 3-0.
So 1-1 and...
Stansifka looking very relieved there in the background.
Right, yeah.
That game didn't even appear to be close, at least from my perspective.
Same, yeah.
So it's surprising they're so relieved, but in the situation, I guess you never know what to expect.
And here is what they should have expected from the other side. All of this silliness into the Primal Fin, as you see this amazing highlight of just cards and things.
Would have been great to see Insane's reaction there when the Lyra appeared and it said created by Ungaro Pack.
Yeah, he probably was not best impressed.
Just look at this. Inner Fire being played alongside the Power Word Shield on the Primal Fin champion. Trading in. Later getting the Potion of Madness from Lyra. Just clearing up the board nicely.
Yeah, that was... A lot of the priest games are silly games of Hearthstone. That seemed like a silly game of Hearthstone. Very well played, by the way, this. Realising they can use a Potion of Madness. I almost feel like someone says if Potion of Madness comes, make sure you do this. In the middle of all those turns, that happens so instantly, it's almost as if someone said, just be aware those numbers line up perfect.
Yeah. Yeah, you're
Sure,
absolutely
he can
right.
spot it on his own, but if there's 3 of you there, one of you can be on guard for all the potentials from...
No, you're right. It lined up very, very well, and that was due to the Czech Republic's playing and making it so that it lined up and making it so that if they picked up Potion of Madness, then clearing the board was a possibility. Just very, very well played. But now we have what could be a much faster matchup or could be a much slower one. Who knows? We got Druid versus Warrior. Don't ask me which. Just don't.
So, Stan Sivka on the Warrior. You would imagine it will be a slower one, but Sivka is smart. He can mix it up. He will play the deck he thinks he needs to play to win the match. Kamikaze, again, we don't know. We assumed at the start of the day that most Druids would be aggressive, and so far we've only seen Jades and Ramps. And so, with that in mind, if it is... The combinations are so different depending on what comes out, but if it's Jade versus Control, you'd fancy that Croatia would take a 2-1 lead.
Yeah. We did see the one token Druid in the last series.
Right.
I think it was the last series.
Oh yeah, he just got destroyed by Freeze Mage.
By the Freeze Mage. No, it wasn't the last series. It was the ace match of the series before.
Right.
My apologies. There's been a lot of Hearthstone today.
Has been quite a bit.
There's a lot to try and remember at the moment. But this is probably token. I would say at the end of the day, you expect to have at least as many token Druids as you do Jade Druids. I doubt it's going to tip heavily in the other direction.
Yeah, like I said, I'm biased because a lot of the stuff I've been casting recently, the decks were submitted quite a while ago, and a lot of it is Jade. So I've got a slightly jaded look at the
Jaded.
environment, but
Oh boy.
I feel that, I do agree with you. I feel it's slightly more likely to be aggro.
Okay, and the Warrior could easily be either. We've had about 50-50 today.
Again, I feel it's slightly more likely to be Quest, but I would not be surprised. But if either of these were the other ones, what we could...
I don't think a Pirate Warrior has won a game yet. Now may be the time.
It's all-out war.
Well, fasten your seatbelts. This is going to be a quick one.
Pirates versus Egg Nappers.
And more Pirates.
And more Pirates. Pirates versus Pirates.
Pirates versus Pirates that counter Pirates, because Corsair's going to destroy the weapon.
Who plays the Crawler?
The Druid. The Druid
Advanced
plays the
Druid,
Crawler.
then.
Usually the Druid plays Galactic Crawler, yeah. Sometimes the Warrior does as well, although there's less targets in the Jade Druid, not the Jade Druid, sorry, in the Token Druid deck for it.
Right.
There's just the Bloodsoul Corsair and the Patches, whereas on the other side, this entire hand is a target for Galactic Crawler.
Talking of this entire hand, Croatia's hand is absurdly good looking.
I think both are. I wouldn't complain about either of these hands.
Yeah, we may not see a single card get mulliganed here, which would be really, really odd.
None from Croatia.
So the
nope, not either
no
side.
mulligans. We're good guys. Let's go.
Both players with what they believe to be the perfect opening hand.
Hungry crab.
Hungry crab.
Sneaking into the druid hand there.
It's the wrong one. We've established it's pretty good in the meta at the moment.
Right.
But it's not the right one. It's not the one Croatia wants right now.
Yeah, and that is a brutal start here.
So Patches deals with the Eggnapper very nicely
Right.
and leaves Kamikaze with just 2 1-1s, which actually isn't that significant for something that was innovated out.
Sure. This is one of the things with the druid deck. It has to go all in. That's how it's built. And sometimes you can just have no cards left after like turn 3 or 4. And
Strangely, I wonder if Bloodsail Raider is the play here, because it's the one that destroys the Eggnapper and also trades well against the 2 1-1s, and it looks like he's going for it.
yeah, you're just going to get...
Oh,
Yeah, but your way was interesting as well.
Stand corrected.
Be no value at all from the plus half, from the attack half, but...
the advantage with this play is that it's not completely clear which version of Warrior you're playing. If you're playing the quest, you'd have thrown it away anyway, probably.
Yep.
So... Oh, no, you wouldn't. There was no mulligan. If Kamikaze was paying attention,
Right.
there was no mulligan.
But you might not play the quest yet.
And Fiery Works was the leftmost card.
Ah.
So if Team Croatia are paying full attention,
Right.
they will now know there is no quest in this deck, no possibility of it at all.
Interesting, good call. And what do you do here? This Innovate is a bit sad. It may get a lot better quickly with other cards, but for now, the Innovate is doing absolutely nothing.
Yeah, Innovate's kind of done its job. You are happy to get 2 Innovates usually, but this hand is just a little bit too light. You're not hero powering.
And you might as well use a Corsair now, just to get rid of a charge. It's not ideal, but...
If the next card's Finger, then suddenly Innovate becomes good.
Right.
That's about it. Or Bittertide Hydra, if they run it.
I think the Druid's usually slight favourite in this match, by the way.
I
just
agree.
because the Pirates can't... They do their damage in bigger chunks than most people realise, rather than going particularly wide. And the Druid manages to protect its board quite well. I mean, look at this. You're going to have to put 3 damage from your weapon into nothing, whatever you choose to put it into.
There's still a Patches, but that Eggnapper is now a 3-1, which Stansifka's really not going to want to kill, because the 2 1-1s are equally awkward.
He also has his Cultist and his Captain, which he wants to use on buffing things, including the weapon, so he doesn't want to use the weapon. He's on 26. So it's not emergency just yet, but Savage Roar would lose you the game.
Yeah. It would definitely deal enough damage where you feel like you're falling a little bit far behind.
Maybe you just play the deck hand and the first mate.
I was just thinking that myself.
And just go as wide as you dare, get rid of some stuff, and then try to fight for the board later.
Well, time's up, Stansifka. Got to make your decision now. Bloodsail Raider comes down. It's going to get traded into very, very easily. Patch is actually going into the Eggnapper. Ooh, Savage Roar's a scary thought, isn't it?
Savage Roar is a scary thought. It would be 16 damage, 17 with the Innovate if that was a play.
Living Mana, of course, the 5-mana card that cannot be innovated out. Well, it can, but it shouldn't be. It will only summon 3 2/2s.
Not sure that's that bad. I wonder.
I guess, actually, 3 2/2s isn't... It's probably better than nothing in this situation.
There's some problems with it in that your opponent knows what you have.
Oh, there you go.
How do they deal with it? And if you top deck Savage Roar, you win the game.
Kamikaze agrees with you. He's summoning the 3. I suppose even if he summoned 5 from that,
He
it
would only
wouldn't...
get 3 anyway.
He'd only have gotten 3 because the border's too full. Sacrificing all of your mana is a little bit scary against a deck that doesn't really care about trading, so it's kind of the Druid's job now to trade.
This isn't going to work out this game for Sifka, but playing Firefly in the Pirates means he can go wide in your traditional Pirates deck. So that would be tech for this matchup as it happens.
Look at Firefly popping up in every Ungara deck.
I mean, Sifka loves playing the card anyway. He's proved that time and again. If this wasn't a living mana last turn, by the way, this Firefly would be an amazing pickup here. It would enable the Czech Republic just to go mega wide and challenge this board incredibly well. As it is, not so much. Must remember they're still on 21, and Croatia cannot do the Savage Roar I've said next turn because they have no mana.
No. Mark of the Lotus is a thing, though. It's often the follow-up to Living Mana. Although there's no card in Kamikaze's hand, chance of it being picked up off the top is actually Well, it's there. There is a possibility. There is a percentage.
And this Firefly going wide has given Sivka and co from the Czech Republic a chance here at leveling this up.
A 1-1. A 1-mana 1-1. Not a bad draw in this exact circumstance. I still think that Kamikaze is significantly ahead this game.
I'm not so sure anymore, only because Warrior has that hero power. That automatically negates one of the opposing minions as soon as they get to turn 6 or 7, and he can press it every turn. Not quite because Savage Raw, but I think he's ahead. I do think that Czech Republic can get out of it, though.
Yeah, it will be partially down to when Savage Raw gets picked up.
I mean, next turn is going to be Deckhand and probably Cultist, but possibly Captain. And stuff starts to die at that point on the Druid side, and he has no reload.
It's curious to me that Kamikaze deciding not to trade in the 2-2.
Yeah.
He actually doesn't care about getting 3 mana. He's not bothered about Savage Raw next turn. He actually just wants the strongest possible board.
Deckhand Cultist must be very tempting here. Lower the cost of your Corsair next turn into Captain.
Yeah, although the buff on the weapon isn't doing much right now, nor is South Sea Deckhand.
Well, they're just killing things, and when you kill all the Druid's things, you do end up beating them.
Feels bad, though, dealing too much damage. As the Pirate Warrior to minions, when you want to be dealing more damage to the face, and you just can't because the board is set up so awkwardly.
Starting to feel the Druid needs a second living mana soon. He can't do it this turn, but as soon as he can.
You've certainly been proven right, though. This game was closer than I thought it was by looking at it a few moments ago. Eggnapper, it's a pretty good... that's some juice right there.
A little, but now there's going to be a taunt and a Captain come down, and this game's going to start turning around, I feel. I must always bear in mind that Savage Raw is a huge amount of damage at nearly any point.
Yeah, and living mana, as you said a moment ago, if that gets picked up again...
But it needs to be soon, because Czech Republic are starting, well, more than starting, they are getting control of this. After this turn, where they probably go Corsair Captain, then they can start arming up as well. And in fact, the reason they're pausing so long might be that they're considering starting to do that now.
We did warn you at the start of the game to fasten your seatbelts. It's only turn 5, and look how many decisions have been made this game already. Look how many questions we've had to ask. Look how many turnarounds we've had this game. The big one coming from the Pirate Warrior just a moment ago. This matchup is fast, but there's a lot going on in it.
Yeah, like what do you hit here? Do you hit the Eggnapper to protect your taunt? Or do you just kill something else?
Yeah, I like this. I think I like face tanking the Eggnapper. You trade in 4-5, not sure where you put it. How afraid are you of this 6
I just keep taking out the biggest thing.
Yeah.
Until there's only small things.
I like this. There's not much of a difference between the Druid having 5 mana and having 6 mana anyway. I don't think there's even any 6 mana cards in the deck. Defender of Argus, one of the better cards, but it's not doing quite enough here.
Yeah, it's doing quite a bit. It's going to get through some stuff, but Czech Republic now beginning to stabilize. And as of next turn, they will start killing things, and there'll be a lot of draws that start to stabilize their position.
Kamikaze is able to push 2 damage to the face if he wants to. I'm not sure where else he would put the 2 damage, so I think he has to. Hero power plus the 1/1, I guess, could go into the taunt so that the bigger minion with the taunt survives.
Yeah, the Druid does lose if it loses the board, but it does still have 1 living mana left that would, again, turn it back around the other way in this 1-all game. So absolutely crucial to the whole outcome of the match and potentially even the league these next 2 or 3 turns.
Okay, Arcanite Reaper, not a bad card to draw in this position.
I think you don't play it though, right? I think we clear up the board, press the hero power button, play Nazoth's first mate, just to get it on the board.
I agree.
And then just wait 1 turn.
I agree. You definitely want to soak up all of the value from this 2-attack weapon. And now it's so important for Stansifka to cling on to this board with everything he's got and press that armor up button every turn. He's down to 10 health. There's not much that can just kill him from 10 instantly. Mark of the Lotus coming quite a few turns too late.
This is why you kill all the minions all the time. Because a lot of the Druid buffs are just completely useless now, and eventually they're going to... You know, people complain about drawing Innovate late game. They have the equivalent of like 7 or 8 Innovates in their deck right now.
Now, what if Kamikaze was able to summon 7 3/3 mana crystals next turn.
Then he would do a lot of damage.
He would definitely do a lot of damage, and that's still a possibility. He has time to play those cards. Living
Right.
Mana, Mark of the Lotus, and then 21 damage, staring at Stansifka's face. There's still a way.
Next turn.
No,
No.
it's not it. It could be good for getting rid of Arcanite Reaper, though.
A lot of people there would have played Arcanite Reaper last turn, by the way, and it would have been eaten.
Yeah.
Sivka chose to play the Pirate instead. And yeah, the ordering of his turns here didn't change the clock, but what it did do is change the fact that Corsair couldn't kill this. Everyone suddenly starts scrambling for the calculators, but it's not quite enough yet.
12 damage, 16 health. Blood Cell Corsair is going to get rid of the Arcanite Reaper now, though. Oh, it's close, isn't it?
It's really, really close. No lethal next turn unless Sivka draws.
Oh, the second Mark of the Lotus. These cards have just come at the most awkward possible time. I wonder if Kamikaze plays one.
I don't think he needs to.
I guess it doesn't really achieve much. It doesn't achieve anything on this board.
Yeah, Patches has gone. You've seen both Nazoth first mates. Yeah, he's checking his only reason I need to play this. It saves a mana for next turn, but whenever does this druid spend 9 mana in a turn?
He doesn't need the mana. Like,
They're just looking for any good reason that, are you sure I'm not just being too tricky here? I don't think I want to play this card now.
well, it's worth discussing when you're in this situation. And this game really has been a nail-biter.
Right.
All the way through. It can still go either way. It's much more likely to go towards the warrior now, but I hold out some hope for the druid. That's not enough damage. It's one off.
One off lethal.
We've all been there.
Yeah, I get that close sometimes. And now it's decision time as well, because we've been saying all along it's time to kill all the minions, but this time might be different. Because the only card that beats you is Living Mana, and it beats you quicker if your opponent's on 7 than if they're on 1, basically. Got to factor in all your top decks as well.
Yeah.
Everything has to go face here, so he's just going to wait. Probably play the upgrade to do 1 point of damage.
If Stansifka has no board, though, that upgrade is dealing 1 damage a turn. The Druid Hero Power is restoring 1 health every single turn.
Sure.
Oh, it's close.
I think the question is, does this game go 3 more turns? Because that upgrade is 3 damage over 3 turns. If it's going 3 more turns, if it's not going 3 more turns, you might as well use the upgrade and get the 1 point extra in.
I would imagine Stansifka does not want this game to go on 3 more turns.
Yeah, I don't think it should.
And he's now in the position where if the Druid for some reason didn't hero power next turn, he just wins. Bluegill Warrior isn't bad, actually. Bluegill Warrior plus Mark of the Lotus. Obviously, it would have been better if there were both Mark of the Lotuses in Kamikaze's hand right now to buff the Bluegill up twice. I don't believe he's benefited from playing Mark of the Lotus early there.
He's aware that 5 is a bad number to be on because warriors do their damage in 4s a lot of the time.
And there's 1 damage already on the
1
board.
damage already, so yeah, he's getting us out of range there, not doing what you would normally do here, which is kill the minion with your face.
No, oh goodness, no. Flash Raider doesn't do anything. This is another potential turnaround, this time for the Druid.
But Sivka does not need to kill these minions because he may want to, but he does not need to, as Savage Roar would be 13.
Yeah, if he kills the minions, he's slowing the rate at which he can win this game right down.
But
And there are punishes as well. If he draws another upgrade next turn, or even
right,
Blood Cell Cultist, then oh no, he's going to play the Raider now. Okay. Right.
yeah, still just playing for 1 point of damage. And Croatia starting to get into this one. This is a nail biter.
Firefly is not bad, actually. It's not great, but it's more than just 1 minion on the board. It's 2. Savage Roar will be lethal next turn, I think.
Yep.
And we haven't seen one yet.
And we haven't seen one yet, but we haven't seen any damage come out of Sivka's hand for several turns. Something in the region of Korkon Elite or Leroy or Naga Corsair just gets there.
Wow. Oh my goodness. Just over the finish line. Worth noting here that if Stansifka did trade the previous turn, he would not have quite had the damage, would not have won the game that turn either.
And the Czech Republic win a stressful game for them, go to 2-1. Obviously Croatia disappointed there, but in fairness, Czech Republic were looking for a winning card for 3 or 4 turns there, and so I think it was a fair outcome in the end, but wow. I mean, Croatia did draw well at the start with that living mana on curve, etc. So I think that Czech Republic just sorted that out.
I defy you to tell me that aggro mirror matches are boring after watching that one.
Yeah, I wouldn't try to anyway, because I enjoy them because I'm that sort of person.
It's a very common misconception, I would say.
Yes.
That aggro decks are easy to play, aggro decks are brainless, you know. But games like that, I would like to think, show otherwise. There was so many intricacies in that matchup.
Yeah, both teams trying to do minimal amounts of trading and a maximum amount to the face. And there were several instances there, especially with the living mana minions, where Croatia could have just chosen to ignore the board and go face, for instance.
And here is the final draw for Lethal. Croatia looking just darn it is the impression I got from that one.
Yeah, so they knew that they'd ridden their luck a little bit to survive that long. But yeah, 2-1 to the Czech Republic.
Now, I believe I saw that it's now Warrior versus Rogue
for Croatia and Rogue for the Czech Republic.
Okay, so Quest Rogue versus Quest Warrior again. The old guard of Ungaro.
Yeah, the old guard of the 3-week-old meta.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it's that question again. Is it Pirates? Is it Quest? If it's Pirates, it just turns it on its head against the Rogue.
Yeah. Is it Miracle or is it Quest?
Or is it Quest as well?
We've seen more Quest than Miracle today, but in general, I feel like it's pretty evenly spread at the moment.
Miracle seems to have a wider range of things it can do, whereas Quest is like, beat this, lose to this. Not quite, but when you package it, when you're building your lineup, that's how you package the Rogue in your head. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, you go insane working out every last percentage on everything.
And if it's, again, turned on its head again, Miracle Rogue versus Pirate Warrior, I think the Miracle Rogue is favoured just about nowadays. Hallucination gives you the ability to choose a warrior card, which really raises your possibilities of getting a Public Defender, an Ally Armorsmith, a Bloodhoof Brave, a Shield Block, not a Bash, but an Ironforge Portal. Like, there's a lot of armor generation, there's a lot of taunt minions that you can just pick up for free with Hallucination.
What happened to Ironforge Portal?
It's around. See it sometimes.
Really?
Yeah.
I haven't seen it for a long time. But it's got to exist.
It does exist. It's just very.
I guess
rare.
you haven't got the slots in the Quest Warrior deck to just do anything with it because you're too busy playing taunt minions, and your slots for non-taunt minions that have to go for absolute premium stuff like your shield block, your execute.
Exactly, and that's what these quests do across the board. You need to fill them to a large extent exclusively with cards that actually progress the quest. Or your deck's just really inconsistent. And unfortunately, even if the Ironforge Portal were to summon a minion with taunt, it would not go towards the quest, as the quest is to play minions with taunt, not summon, which is why Dirty Rat is so strong against it.
Yeah, in the mirror match, obviously, you see people just playing Dirty Rat on turn 2 a lot of the time just to suck a taunt minion out of the opposing hand and basically get a swing round. I play my Dirty Rat, which I wasn't supposed to play, if you like, get one on my quest, and you've lost a taunt minion.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, Travno Boy versus Jara Viscoli. Vascili? I'm so sorry. I've said your name horribly wrong, but it's the best I've got.
Oh, Yara.
Yara? Yara's probably correct, actually.
It probably is not, but it's less incorrect because it's fewer letters.
Feel free to...
Again, I also apologise. Feel free, get in touch with us. Let us know how to pronounce your name, please. Please do.
We want to get this right over future weeks.
Meanwhile, it is Pirates versus Quest Rogue.
So, heavily Pirate Warrior favoured.
It is. The Igneous Elemental helps the Quest Rogue have a chance because it speeds up the way of completing the quest, and also it's the only minion in most of these decks that actually has some sort of relevant body that you actually want to play, because you don't want to play the other bounce guys.
Okay.
That was a Hydra, by the way.
Bitter Hydra. picked up by the Pirate Warrior. It's one of the cards that people have been playing around with in this deck to replace Finley, as funny as that sounds.
Right.
But we lived in a world a while back where in Aggro Shaman, you would run Finley or a second Azure Drake. So for some reason, 5-mana cards and Finley seem to share the same slot.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So if you're going to win this matchup as the Rogue, this is one of the hands you might win it with. If the right things come off this card draw the next 2 turns.
And no 1-drop from Trevano, so a little bit of a slow start.
I mean, yeah, he's going to do a whole load of damage over the next 2 or 3 turns. With the Bloodsail Raider's going to be huge, the Berserker's going to be pretty big, the Cultist is going to help, Hydra's.
It's difficult to know exactly when to trade as well. Like, obviously Patches trades into Novice Engineer, that's
Sure.
no question, but when are the 1/1 minions worthy of Fiery Warwick's trading into them?
No, you pretty much just smash everything into the face and hope you beat the Rogue before they get 5/5s. Basically.
The game is going to end one way or another, probably by turn 6 or 7, whether it's some miraculous quest completion and a comeback on the board by the Rogue, or more likely, whether it's the Pirate Warrior just smacking the face a lot and pretty much getting to the finish line. This 5/3 Bloodsail Raider is impossible for Yara to deal with right now.
Save the Novice Engineer, by the way. So, looking to see what comes off the Mimic Pod first, most likely.
Okay.
Maybe there's a chance to Shadow Step something like the Novice Engineer after a Vanish. We're talking a long way down the line. Vanish is a turn 6 play. I don't see how turn 6 gets achieved at this one.
The dream is that you Mimic Pod the second Shadow Step.
Right.
And the Novice Engineer Shadow Step and repeat 4 times.
And then get hit in the face for 20.
Yeah, but at least the quest's complete at that point.
That's how all D&D campaigns finish. Finish the quest, dragon breathes on you.
What a pickup from the Czech Republic there. South Sea Deckhand plus Patches is actually going to deal with what looks like a devastating 2-mana 5/3. Novice Engineer just widening the board a little bit. It's not looking horrible for Yara.
That is such a good pickup. He's just going to check that he can't take 5 to the face. Spoilers, he can't and doesn't need to.
Yeah, weapon into Patches is absolutely fine here. This is the situation where I wonder, Novice Engineer stays on the board. Do Croatia ever consider trading the weapon into the Novice Engineer? Because leaving it there to be bounceable is questionable.
And next turn is very, very difficult for the Czech Republic. All of the cards in hand could be played, but not all of them. Each of the cards could be played, but not every single one. And actually, yeah, considering Shadow Stepping now and drawing another card, there's no need to. They're probably planning that next turn, actually, because it is so hard. There is definitely a plus point for getting the Elemental on the board. There's also a plus point for playing the Mimic Pod, and also just playing the Ferryman has upside as well, depending on what you draw.
Just a reminder for those of you that may have just joined, it may look like Croatia is playing this unfair 3-on-1 game versus the Czech Republic right now. But we can guarantee that Yara is communicating with his teammates via comms. He is not in it alone versus Croatia. If he played the Mimic Pod last turn, he would have got that second Shadow Step.
That would have been pretty ridiculous.
And third Shadow Step as well, yeah. Although, Yara has what he needs to complete the quest. Igneous Elemental creates the 2 Flame Elementals.
Right.
2 Flame Elementals plus 2 Shadow Steps. I think my math is correct there, but that's not a hard quest to complete.
Right, and thanks to last turn, he's still on 28 when it looked like he's going to start to take a beating. But being able to kill that Raider has made a huge difference.
This game might not be as over as we initially thought. Then again, when that Bitterhide Hydra comes down, I'm not sure how Czech Republic deal with it.
So big as well.
That answers my question. That's how Czech Republic deal with it. They just freeze it every turn forever.
This is good. Croatia praying this isn't something big, but now they know there's double Glacial Shard to deal with and double Shadow Step.
Yeah, you Shadow Step this, right?
You don't need to. You can just Glacial Shard forever here with next turn Glacial. They know you've got it, so you can't trick them because it came from Mimic Pod. So yeah, you might as well not mess around.
I don't mind Shadow Stepping it because next turn you can just...
Yeah.
Well, you can essentially get 3 freezes if you want them.
Yeah, freezing everything into completing the quest. They could get this. That being said, there's plenty going on for Croatia here. But there needs to be. They're still on 28. Czech Republic is still on 28.
Which is very, very good for them. Very good against Pirate Warrior. And those Glacial Shards are definitely going to be doing their work. One of the, I don't know if Glacial Shard was completely overlooked, but people didn't quite expect it to be this strong or this regularly used.
Right.
But its stopping power is being demonstrated right here. And this turn, the quest will get completed.
Tidehunter, also a very big pickup here because 5/5 with Taunt against Pirate Warrior are really good cards.
Yeah. 2 mana, 5/5, summon a 5/5 with Taunt. Seems good.
Really does. And it's just a case really of how the Czech Republic want to do this. They may choose to do it using the Ferryman, as a 2/3 is just more of a menace against the weapon until they get the quest established.
Nice to meet you. The Glacial Shards come down, freezing the face as well by the looks
Oh,
of
they can
things.
just spam the board with so much stuff here.
It's just a shame. If there was a preparation in Yara's hand here, this game would be over.
I mean, this is almost lethal next turn. And now you
Alright.
bounce back the Tidehunter as well.
And there's nothing Croatia can do. What is going on right now?
Just a whole bunch of Cavern Rogue. And he's buying back the freeze.
We had the other matchup earlier. We had Cavern Rogue versus Quest Warrior, which the Quest Warrior actually won the unfavored matchup because the Cavern Rogue started with a bad hand. This has gone the opposite way around. This time the Cavern Rogue is winning the difficult matchup because of just how strong this hand
On
is.
28 health! That's not how it's meant to be done, Pirates.
We did say more likely the Pirates win this, but I'm regretting saying those words. I'm going to go ahead and eat those words right now.
And the pickup which enabled the first Bloodsail Raider to be dealt with has just changed this game so ridiculously on its head.
Glacial Shard, man. It's pretty good.
It is indeed pretty good.
So Crystal Court, the question is, do any of these cards trade?
I mean, yes, probably.
You probably have to kill the Froth.
Because why not, right? Like, what's in the Pirates deck now that actually kills you? So, yeah.
Pass.
Kill the Frothing, shard the 5/3, hit Pirates in the face for 16.
Do you play the Shard in hand, or do you hold on to it and guarantee that you're safe from whatever gets dropped next turn? I guess there's no need. They don't know there's a better hide.
Everything's a 5/5. Yeah, I just start playing stuff now. Like I said, I might even kill 2 minions here. They'll be discussing how the clock works here.
Well, you can kill both 3/4s, freeze the 5/3, and then you're dealing a lot of damage over 2 turns.
Yeah.
I think it's still 2-turn lethal.
Excuse me.
Because if Croatia are going to deal with the taunt, they actually will have to put the weapon in.
Right.
Which means they're still taking the 5 damage. So
there we go. 25 on the board. 26 if you count the face. 23 plus 2 is 25. Heroic striking of 5/2 is one of the only things here that Croatia can do to not die. Sorry, mortal striking, which I knew they were going to draw. And that is basically the end of this game.
Yep. Pirate. Oh, okay.
Mortal strike, face, bottom right, and off they go. The Czech Republic going 3-1 winners and looking very, very powerful for it.
Yeah, Yara looking pretty smug right there, it has to be said, and rightfully so. Czech Republic getting this win versus Croatia.
Their second win, they beat the Philippines 3-2, which is looking like a good result now as well after today's performance from the Philippines. And this group is starting to take good shape now. Croatia are, of course, struggling just a little bit at the bottom of this group, as we're going to see right now.
Oh, there. First, let's have a look at the results of the match.
Sure.
We would have had the ace match between Insane and Stansifka. I don't know about you, Lorinda, but I was expecting the ace match to come as soon as I saw the matchup. But no, Yara with his Caverns Rogue, Quest Rogue, whatever you want to call it, was able to win against the Pirate Warrior. Still not entirely sure how that happened.
Yeah, not entirely sure how that happened is probably how Croatia are feeling
Lots
right now.
of freezing.
Yeah, the Glacial Shard there, absolutely absurd. And just getting rid of that very early Bloodsail Raider as well, just causing a whole bunch of problems. And still on 28 at the end there.
All right, so let's take another look at Group H here. Yeah, Czech Republic looking very good with a game record of 6-3, 2 wins, 0 losses match-wise. Croatia Not feeling so good.
Croatia and Germany, I mean, two of the teams, especially Germany, one of the teams that expected to do well in this event, struggling. And Belarus must be looking around them thinking, oh, can we have a different group?
What is this
please?
bloodbath around
This
me?
is absolutely horrific.
Croatia actually below Germany though, because the game record will come into effect if there are, well, it's the tiebreaker. So if the match record ends up equal and only 3 teams in each group get through, and it could be the decider of which ones get through to the next round. So scary stuff.
Yeah, and that group is taking shape, not necessarily how we expected as well, with Germany doing nothing wrong, losing to 2 strong teams, but suddenly finding themselves in what looks like could even turn out to be, could say already, may just be a race for that 3rd crucial spot in the group that gets you through.
It's an interesting thing because with tiebreakers there, that's where players could get annoyed that they didn't get to play in a series that they got 3-0'd, because they could say, well, if I played, our tiebreaker would have been better because I'd have won my game.
Yeah.
Yeah, some really interesting stuff.
Quick rundown of the day's results. The APAC region, Indonesia took a great start, 3-1 against Bulgaria, but then Singapore couldn't back it up. Turkey took them down 3-2. Hong Kong also went down for APAC, and Portugal took them down 3-2, as promised by Ginger. Germany, though, Philippines took them down in what we thought was going to be the most exciting match of the day. I mean, it was exciting if you're Filipino, but 3-0 massacre of Germany there.
Yeah, scary stuff. And finally, of course, as we just witnessed, Czech Republic defeated Croatia with that final 3-1, winning the incredibly unfavoured matchup at the end of the day. What a great day of Hearthstone.
Yeah, it's been really, really good. I'm obviously pleased because APAC took 2 of their 4 matches down, proving that they are... Yeah. Well, you know.
Okay, Lorinda. We know you love APAC, but...
We have loads more Hearthstone here for you tomorrow, where we have 5 more matches from Hearthstone Global Games.
We are going to be back here and joined as well by Dan Gaskin, so you can look forward to that. But for now, that's us. We'll be back at a slightly later time tomorrow, and we look forward to seeing you then.